to Fish on Fridays. My name's Al McCauley, and today I want to talk to you about an apparition that many people have not heard of. It's Our Lady of Vang, and she appeared in 1798 in Vietnam. Now, we have to understand Vietnam at this time is ruled by an emperor that is rabidly anti-Christian, and wants to maintain the old ways, and so is persecuting Christians, and particularly Catholics. And there was a growing number of Catholics in the country in the later part of the 18th century. But because of this fierce persecution, they had to escape into the jungles to worship. And there was one time, one of these gatherings in 1798 in the jungles, where a lady appeared holding a child, and she appeared in Vietnamese dress and looking like one of them. And she appeared up in the trees, and she instructed them to take the leaves of that tree and to boil them, and it will help to cure their ills. Now, this was understood immediately to be Mary, the mother of God, holding Jesus. This apparition was of Mary holding Jesus. And it's fascinating to think about this because just like in Mexico with Our Lady of Guadalupe, Mary looked not like a European Mary, if you will, or even a Middle Eastern Mary, but she looked like them, Vietnamese. This is an incredible statement about God and the idea that our faith is not, it's for all times and all places and all people. And so that Mary appeared as one of them and spoke in their dialect so that they could understand was very important, just like it was in Mexico City, just like it has everywhere else that she's appeared throughout the world, to make sure that we all understand that we're all children of God. I think that's a fascinating part of the story. But anyway, these people stayed in hiding and worshiped in hiding until the early 1800s. And they told this story of the apparition and over again. And it became quickly a place that people would gather, that Catholics would gather. And so by 1820, when one of these waves of persecution had kind of subsided, they built a chapel to her. Unfortunately, about a generation or two later, there was another emperor that really ramped up these persecutions again, and they destroyed the temple. It has since been rebuilt on the spot where she appeared, and it has been refurbished over and over again, down to our own time. It's still there. But Our Lady of Vang has become the cornerstone, if you will, of the Catholic Church in Vietnam. One of the things that's fascinating about this, not just the fact that she appears Vietnamese and spoke Vietnamese, is you see a growing number of since the Vietnam War in the 60s and 70s that the United States was involved in, you see an increasing number of Vietnamese people who, refugees, etc., who came here as immigrants and have a strong fondness and a strong devotion to Our Lady of Vang. And so you see statues of her in places like the Marian Shrine in Emmitsburg, Maryland, which I've visited many, many times. Just beautiful image of Mary holding the baby Jesus. One last thing I want to say about this, because it just gets fascinating, is to think about this. When Our Lady appeared in Mexico City in 1531 to Juan Diego, she appeared on a hill in Mexico City that most people roughly believe was smack dab in the middle of the Americas. It was the center point between North and South America. Our Lady of Vang appears in a place called Vang, which is south of Hue or Da Nang, central part of Vietnam, which is smack dab in the middle between North and South Vietnam. You know, if we think about our Vietnam War history, about the South and the North and the South in terms of the communists and the non-communists, etc., I just think it's interesting because she came at a point and a place geographically that was meant to unite the country, not to divide it. Just a fascinating concept to think about with Mary that way. Vang, last thing, Vang is said to come mean one of two things. It's either from an ancient dialect that refers to the term crying out, or more people believe it has its etymology in a word that means leaf, because she told the people, the people who were being persecuted who saw her, she told them to take the leaves of that tree and to boil them and make it into a tea to cure their ills. A lot of people think that word Vang refers to those leaves that had those curative properties. Nonetheless, just to stop and look back at this for a minute, Our Lady of Vang, just another way our Catholic Church, Catholic meaning universal, is just wonderful. That God is for all time and all places and all people, as I said earlier. And this is just one more example of way to celebrate our faith in Mary, revere Mary. We don't worship her, but we revere her, we honor her, and for all peoples to do this so that ultimately she can bring us closer to her Son. What a wonderful gift. Our Lady of Vang. If you like this story, I would love to share it with somebody. Please feel free to do it. We'd really be happy if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook. But either way, thank you for tuning in every Friday to Fish on Fridays. Until next time, please be good to each other and God bless.